Good morning. It's the Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up for February 25th, 2003, and I'm your host, John Newquist. And we had an exciting week, 4 days of trading because of the holiday, President's Day. Walmart started off the week great. I mean, it came out, had its best December in history. EPS a little lower. Of course, the first quarter is never a big quarter for Walmart, but that's pretty good. And you can see it's in an upward channel. We bought it down over here in our portfolio. It's going to kind of trending in here, kind of went up a little bit. But this is the channel that everybody's watching. Retail and the consumer price expenditures kind of dampened the rest of the week, but it was a good start to the week. Home Depot, on the other hand, not so good. Costs are up. Salaries and compensation for employees, $1 billion extra. Wow. Earnings, they make money. That's not bad. Companies that make money is good. Transactions went down 6% because of inflation. So you can see it gapped down, way down over here, and that's not good for any stock. So will it get down to 270? That's a number if you want to pick it up, think about it, because they're going to be around. They make money. We got Walmart as a big retailer, so Home Depot we've had before. We sold before it collapsed, much earlier. But we watched the 200-day moving average. It's come down quite a bit. It was actually in the positive range, this little yellow line here. So that's a lot of time when people buy the stock, and of course now it's below the line. So we'll wait till it sees. Let's see it base a little bit, get the triangle back up, and we'll go. All right, 4.78 on the 2-year. That's huge. I mean, it when you look at the last few years, I mean, you go back almost 15 years, it's been low. Interest rates have been low. The crash and preceding the crash, the rates went higher. So this is a number we're all watching. It affects a lot of stuff with the stocks. People are putting money in the bonds because the treasuries are paying almost 5%. That's not bad for any kind of stock. The crude oil still in the 70s, natural gas still in the 2s. I think the natural gas companies are going to take a hit. Now, everybody says, oh, it's going to go up in the spring. I says, I don't know. Winter is when they use natural gas. And there is a warmer winter overall, even though there was like 2 weeks of super cold. But gold has been dropping steadily. Remember, it was over 1,900, almost 2,000, and we're going down. Silver was 24, now it's down to 20. So talking almost a 20% drop in silver, and copper's finally below 3. So these are all numbers indicating that a recession possibly is going to come up. In the NASDAQ, remember when I said it was 17.9%? You could just take the money and walk away. If you did that, you would have saved half your portfolio performance, and that's it. I mean, that's, it was 2 years of performance, and that's why you had to have some faith that it's going to come back, or you got to take the money. S&P is barely above average, 3.4. Still good. I mean, if you think about it on an 8% average pace, we're still better than 1% a month. But the Dow, the big caps are not so good. So everybody's watching the S&P. Again, the long downward trend of the 200-day moving average. It went through a positive cross, but now it dripped below it, so people are nervous. And if it thinks it gets down, it could go down a lot further down over here. So they're thinking maybe a 10% drop. Everybody's pretty cautious right now. NVDA, oh my God, the earnings were great. They are the only artificial intelligence platform out there. They have the best platforms. ChatGPT uses NVIDIA chips. That is a big deal. $300 billion, if not more. I think it's going to be more. Everybody wants to make, AI something. Everybody's going to add AI something, and even though they don't really do it. But the issue is, can it do stuff that you can get answers to? I mean, I subscribe to ChatGPT under OpenAI. I pay $20 a month. I use it every day. I asked, it's like the search engine without the ads. It gets you the answers. You don't have to go through all the clicks in Google or Microsoft to find the answer. So if you're doing a lot of research like I am, that makes a big difference. And of course, it's up about 40%. It's an upward trend. It jumped. I mean, look at this jump. That went from here to here. It busted above the trend line, which everybody loves. Everybody loves it when it breaks a trend line. Now, it'll come back down, but it is an upward momentum, and they are killing it. Norfolk Southern, oh my God, millions upon millions. They got to excavate all that soil with that cancerous vinyl chloride. It's in the water. I mean, all I see is drums and pumping out liquids to be decontaminated. Where does this end? I mean, how much is this going to cost this company? Of course, when it happened a few weeks ago, it was near, a short-term peak, and now it's just been going down. I mean, how far will it go? I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks the thing. It's, once we break a trend line, you got to go into the resistance. There's some support at 210. I think it could break the support. We don't know. That's a number everybody's looking at. I mean, it was 290 at one time over less than a year ago. So that's not good. It's taken a lot of the transports down with it also. The core producer or preferred consumer expenditure list, it measures the outlays of people buying goods and service. And it went up. You can see it's kind of slowly gone down, but everything is lumpy in these gauges. It doesn't go down straight every month. That's what everybody wants. They want a nice, steady thing, predictable decline. It just doesn't do that. Winter costs a little bit more for stuff like fuel and all these things. Prices go up because transportation is up. So I'm not too worried about it. It's still going down. It's overall, if you average the last 3 months, it's not that bad. So will the market think about this over the weekend? Yes. Will it make a difference? I think you'll see a positive week next week. Intel. Well, what AMD and NVDA take, Intel giveth, and they cut the dividend, which is never good on a big stock. I owned Intel like eons ago. I remember talking to my friend Gail, 15, 20 years ago. Oh yeah, Intel's in the 20s, it'll go good. It went up and doubled, which it really is not that good for a tech stock. It doubled in 15 years. I mean, you look at it, a year ago, it was at 52 and it's at half of that. And it could go lower. My number, people ask me, when would I buy Intel? I says, if it gets down to 20, I'll buy it. I've been so used to Intel, always been in the 25 to 28 range forever. But I do remember when it was 18 one time when it was, the tech crashes hit. So if I was going to buy it, that's not a bad number to look at, and I watch it, I mean, they're not going away. They make a lot of chips. They're just not as good. And, second is there. Now, this Ohio, $50 billion the government's going to give Intel and all these other companies to build in there, that may be a difference. But that's a couple years down. We're looking 5 years down the line. So you think about it. Put a number where you want to buy Intel. I'm thinking around 20. Nibble at it, buy it, then put it away for 5 years, and you'll probably do all right. And then, of course, Warner Brothers Discovery. This is the best stock in 2003. I was trying to figure out, well, okay, what's the best stock out of the S&P 500? This is the one. I mean, look at this downtrend. I mean, this thing was $28. It got down to $8. Streaming was killing everybody, and the media companies were taking a hit after a great year last year. I mean, a great year last year. And now people are saying, well, geez, we've watched it go up 56%. I almost think it's much higher than 56. I mean, I didn't do the math, but it's the computer said it was 56, and I thought, oh, that's not bad. So we got an uptrend up here. We watched the moving averages. Here's our 200-day moving average, and we've crossed it. It's above it. Technically, you would have bought, but down here it would have been this is all negative. Because you didn't know where it was going to go. Was it going to go down here to 7? So it's not a bad stock. It's just something to think about. I'll see you next week. Stay warm. We're at about freezing right now, so I'll see you next week. Good luck.